Roseanne, welcome back.
Thank you so much. I've learned so much. I'm so excited. Love greens.
Good, I'm very happy to hear that. Today our topic is all about greens and why it is so important to include them in our diet. So when you think about greens, what do you think about and what are you already including?
So the greens that I think, when I think of green, it's like chlorophyll.
Okay.
That's what I learned in school, and I remember that that's very healthy. But I think it's just natural to add things like lettuce and, you know, what we're seeing in front, cucumber, although I didn't think of it as a green, I think of green beans. And so I think I have a lot to learn from you as to what the benefits are and what's really the reason why that we add it to the meals.
Okay, so as you said, lettuce is what everyone thinks about when they first think about greens.
Yeah.
And yes, it tends to form the foundation of most salads for people. It's very simple to include. However, there are many more in the category of greens that are incredibly important. And why these vegetables are so incredibly important, these green leafy vegetables, and even the stems and stalks like broccoli that we're going to discuss, and even cucumber to an extent, is the benefits of the vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals that they offer to our bodies. They are also naturally high in fiber, and they also hold water within them. So this is something that's incredibly beneficial for health. Fiber, as we discussed previously, is one of the main characteristics of ensuring that we have a healthy digestive system. Again, when we include greens, it helps prevent obesity, it helps to lower blood pressure, it helps to keep our heart healthy and well as well, which is for things like heart disease, diabetes, and they have many anti-cancer properties from the phytochemicals and from the antioxidants that they have. So what many people don't know is how to prepare them in a way that you are still retaining most of the nutrition from the leaves itself, and also which parts of the plant to eat. So this is something I also learned over time. I always like to take, for example, this is lettuce which I haven't washed yet. You should always wash it and check it that there's nothing growing in it. That the outer leaves are actually have more of the nutrients sometimes than the whiter, more inner leaves. They're not always as attractive in salads, but it's the external and sometimes even the younger leaves that have more of the vitamin C in than the actual inner leaves of the plant.
That's amazing, because I always take off
all
the
of them.
outer leaves.
Absolutely.
And I leave.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the problem with the outer leaves is because of their protection of the plant is that they wilt.
Yeah.
And they get they wilt so much quicker. So
they don't look as nice.
Exactly.
As
However, and this is another important point, is that when we are preparing greens in general, it is best to prepare them just before eating, so that they are not sitting for long periods of time where the vitamin and mineral content can reduce. The same goes when it comes to cooking them. We don't want to cook them for extended periods of time, or also prepare them ahead of time, because then the vitamin and mineral composition reduces substantially. So that's an example with the lettuce. Cabbage is actually exactly the same as well. There is more calcium in the external and outside leaves than in the internal leaves, and iron as well.
That's amazing.
So I want to show you a few different items that we've got here. We've got some cabbage, which I discussed. So that is really got the calcium and iron and other vitamins and nutrients. Broccoli, which I cooked. Oh, shame it looks a little bit flat now, but it did look a little bit better as the minute I cooked it earlier, so you can see.
But actually, I'm sorry, but it's exactly what you said. Cook it as soon as close to eating.
Exactly.
And that's when it's retaining everything, and maybe now is a bit sad.
Exactly. So we wanted to retain its crunch and its flavor as close to to cooking as possible, because then the nutrients are maintained. The other thing to remember is that when we cook it for too long, it starts to leach out those colors, those phytonutrients and the chlorophyll that are so incredibly important for our health. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you and demonstrate to you how to cook spinach with the reduced amount of time in order to be able to maintain the nutrients as much as possible. So I want to show you how to prepare the spinach in a way that doesn't leach all of these nutrients out and it doesn't get lost in the water. So here we go. Put the greens in a colander. I'm going to show them to you now. So they have been cooked, but I want to focus on the fact that even though they were cooked for a very short period of time, if you look at the color in the water, there is a slight green tinge, but it's not the same as if you would have cooked the spinach directly in the water for the same amount of time. And this means that these nutrients that are in this water are not taken so much out of the spinach. What you can do, and this is something we learned in our practical when we were studying, is to then use this water to cook something else in, and then you keep and retain the nutrients that would have been lost. So have a look here. Here's the spinach that's been cooked. And again, the same as with the broccoli, you can see that the color is maintained really, really well. It's not lost. If you were to cook this for a lot longer, you would find that a lot of the green color looks incredibly reduced. So that is the best way, one of the best ways to cook the spinach.
Perfect, so that looks great. Seems like though there's quite a lot of preparation with all of these green stuff, and I understand it's important, but can you give us any tips of how we can have less preparation?
So preparation when it comes to healthy eating and health in general will always take more than opening a packet of something processed and eating it. This means that when you are preparing food, if you can prepare a little bit extra that you've got for another meal, it does work, although when it comes to greens, you don't want to prepare it that much ahead of time. It is worth spending a few more minutes preparing these kind of vegetables than not including them in your diet. For example, a salad like this, it really doesn't take as much time. What I like to add into it to make it a little bit more creative. So in this salad, there is your lettuce from the outside leaves, yes, your cabbage shredded more from the outside leaves. Here's your cucumber. And as you can see from the green color on the outside, there's also a high beta-carotene content. I've chopped up some broccoli in here as well in order to be able to give you also good folate and vitamin K's and other phytonutrients.
Sorry, I have a question here. With the cucumber, you keep the skin on. Is it
So this is for different people. The truth is, if I was going to eat the cucumber, I actually peel the skin because it doesn't agree with my stomach. So there are some people who need to peel the skin. There is fiber in it, and there's a lot of insoluble fiber in it, which is beneficial. However, if it affects your stomach, then it's okay to remove it. So what I'm going to do in order to make the salad really delicious, I'm going to add some of your soaked chickpeas, your soaked hummus, and then to make it more of a complete protein, I'm going to add some lovely quinoa, which is those grains again. So in a salad like this, you're combining your grains, your legumes, and your greens, which is just the most nutritious meal. And we're going to drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil. Again, not too much. We want to be able to still maintain our health. And then you can add perhaps some tuna, or have some chicken with that, or whatever protein you want to include with it as well.
I have to say the salad suddenly became a lot sexier to me.
Absolutely.
Okay, looks good.
So this in general is very healthy food to be including in your diet. if you are looking to improve your health, to avoid many chronic illnesses and chronic diseases. They are high in vitamins, minerals, fiber, phytonutrients. They are a great antioxidant and great anti-inflammatory. So in general, for overall health and to avoid chronic disease, this is the way to go.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.